All right. I know what some of you are thinking. Multiplication review. That can't be for me. That must be something old. No. This is for you. Are you a super tall girl looming over all the other girls in the other classes? This is for you. Are you a boy who wets his pants every time somebody says Fortnite? This is for you. For my super coders, for my got new glasses, this is your review. All right, it's got your name on it. Here we go. So, I don't really know the new 6th grade math teacher that well. He seems like a nice guy, but I don't know him that well. However, I know the old 6th grade math teacher fairly well because she lives just across the hall from me. So, I can tell you that if we were to go to her and say, 6th grade math, is this something we need? You know, to say, I can do multiplication. I'm even right sometimes. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to work for us. So, I get that we all make mistakes, but we need to look ahead to say, all right, how can I improve on this? How can I really dial in and focus on making sure that this represents best work? Whether it's May, whether it's March, whether it's first day of school, this is something that we got to put ourselves down and say, all right, we're gonna buckle down and show some improvement here. So I'm gonna do a little bit of review, and then we'll have a chance for you to practice. So I got two strategies here, same problem. First thing, and this applies to both strategies, is I know that you hear from math teachers all around, like, oh, check your work, check your work, check your work. You're never gonna check your work. But what you can do, what is a realistic expectation, and I know we've discussed this before, is to estimate and say, all right, 27, and you don't even have to write it down, is close to 30, and 13 is close to 10. That gives me 3 and 1, 2 zeros. If my answer is not somewhere close to 300, I need to go back and try again. This is a 3-second estimate, but it'll tell you what place value you need to be in. It'll tell you what ballpark. Can it help correct every little addition error that you might make? No, but sometimes we're off by magnitudes, meaning an entire place value, meaning we think the answer is 30 when it's supposed to be 300, or we think the answer is 3,000 when it's supposed to be 300. This will help us check for that in a really simple, easy way. It's a great habit to get into, so I would encourage you to always ballpark it before anything else. And again, for me, that doesn't even involve writing it down. I'm just doing that for this conversation. So for our two strategies, on the left, you'll see me use partial product, and on the right, you'll see me use the standard algorithm or the efficient algorithm. I know that we would like to move to this efficient algorithm that I'm going to demonstrate over here, but to be honest, whatever's going to get you the correct answer most often, I think is a good place to begin. So over here, I'm looking at 3 times 7, and then remember that this one, I'm skipping a place value here. So I need to make sure that I am holding the 0 and saying, oh, that's 3 times 20, so it's actually going to be a 60. Same for this next step of, all right, I've got 10 times 7, so I'm skipping a place value. That's to represent this space right here, where there's currently a 3. So that's going to be 70. And then the 1 and the 2, I've got 2 zeros that I'm skipping. It's 10 and 20. So it's going to be 200. And adding, I don't have time to review adding. So be patient, work your way through, add it up. All right, so what I was trying to do with the colors there is show you that what happens in the really efficient algorithm is we do, instead of 3 times 7 and then 3 times 2, we end up with 3 times 27. So I say, 3 times 7 is 21. I keep that 1, and I say, I want a little plus 2 there. 3 times 2 is 8, is 6, plus 2 is 8. So 3 times 27 is 81, which is true. But that's what this section is supposed to represent. These two kind of pair up. On the other side, on the right-hand side for this efficient, I know that there's a place value here for this 3, so I'm going to mark a 0 here, and then I can just say, all right, what's 1 times 27? Oh, well, 1 times 7, that's 7. 1 times 2, that's 2. And again, this 0 is showing this space. That's actually a 10, so I'm just throwing the 0 down there ahead of time. So I get 1, I get 5, I get 3. 351, 351. Pick a strategy, master it, and when possible, which is most of the time, give an estimate to make sure you're in the right ballpark. Is my answer close to 300? Yes. And you might say, oh, it's 51 off. Well, that's what makes it an estimate. But it's not 3,051, and it's not 35. So it's important that we get in that habit of saying, all right, this logically makes sense. All right, so for this final one, if I take a look at 35 and instead of 71, let's say I make this 7.1, crafty of me. The first thing I got to do is ignore that decimal place. So for the duration, I'm going to pretend like this is the number 71. If it makes you happy to do 71 on top and 35 down below, it doesn't change the answer one way or the other. I'm going to attempt to use the efficient algorithm, but again, if it makes you happy to do partial product and end up with the 4 numbers, that's okay with me too. So I got 1 times 35. Oh, that's awesome. That's 35. And then I've got 7 times 35, but again, it's 70. So I'm going to start with my 0, and now I can just focus on the 7 and 35. 7 times 5, yet another 35, is 35, so I keep the 5, and I add the 3. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 3 is 24. And then the 2 kind of carries over, if you can imagine. There's just 2 extra, so it's 24. All right. This sort of odd gap between these two happens a lot more when you put the larger number on the bottom. So if you're like, wow, 35 and then 2,000, that looks really weird to me. It is a little bit weird, and that happened because I put the 71 on the bottom, which isn't right or wrong, but yeah, I just got to add them up. 2,487. What did I forget? Oh, my stinking estimate. So 35 is tough because it's right in the middle, but if we pretend that that goes up to 40 and I got 70, I'm going to end up with 1, 2 zeros and the number 28. Is this vaguely there? Yeah. Especially when you note that it's halfway in between. So it's like, well, if I had rounded down to 21, it should be between 2,100 and 2,800. That makes my answer look even better. Final piece is, I can't forget this. I skipped it for a moment, but I can't avoid this. I have 1 decimal place here, so I need to make sure that I'm going in 1 decimal place here. So it's not 35 times 71, it's 35 times 7.1, 7 at 1/10, is going to be 248 and 5/10, or 1/2. All right? Cool. All right, your turn. I'm going to ask that you take a picture of this, and you can crop it or don't crop it, but I want to see work. I don't want you to just email me some random answer. Most of you, I saw some work. You could write it down on a piece of paper and take a picture, but I'm going to want to see some details on this one. I got 238 times 4, just to kind of practice the process a little bit, and then double-digit multiplication on the right with 1 decimal thrown in, so 36 times 2.4. But I want to see some work. Send it to me. Let's see what we get.